In this clip from Spider-Man 3, Gwen Stacy is the damsel in distress as she is an attractive woman falling helplessly while Spider-Man is the hero coming to her rescue. In the original Spider-Man, Peter Parker starts off as a sort of weak or awkward guy, but as soon as he is bitten by the radioactive spider, he immediately becomes more masculine as described by our society standards. He becomes a strong, independent superhero that the women of the city seem to find sexy even though he wears a mask. In this trailer for the second movie in the Rambo series, Sylvester Stallone, who plays Rambo in the movies, is known for being this ripped, manly man war veteran who rarely has a shirt on. In fact, the trailer actually starts off with a close-up of his muscles. It's the idea that he is an army of one and can fight his way out of any intense situation that he is placed in. This tough guy image is so tightly in place that throughout the entire trailer, he is yelling every time he decides to say something at all. If he is not yelling, he is most likely blowing something up or demolishing the enemy.
Throughout the movie Inception, DiCaprio and the men in his group can be seen toting guns and other weapons at all times and always find themselves in a hand-to-hand combat fight or gunfight. DiCaprio surrounds himself with beautiful women like his wife and younger accomplice, and more than once he tries to save them from danger. Also, DiCaprio's character is very emotionally reserved and secretive, as we see with many other superhero roles in action movies.
Bigger, darling.
One of Hollywood's recent action movies, The A-Team, hit a new low. Having Liam Neeson and Bradley Cooper fill the tough guy role wasn't enough for the producers, so they decided to cheapen the plot and degrade the acting by adding cage fighter Quentin Rampage Jackson to the cast to toughen it up. Rampage makes a living smashing people's faces in, and many kids look up to him. In The A-Team, Rampage's role is as an enforcer and cause extreme and unnecessary violence.
You can hire.
I love it when a plan comes together.
Weapon, you only need to fire once. That's how Dad did it. That's how America does it. And it's worked out pretty well so far.
In the movie Iron Man, Robert Downey Jr. plays billionaire CEO Tony Stark, a very slight man in nature. In order to become a man, Stark is forced to shed his puny figure and creates an Iron Man suit in order to wreak the kind of violence and destruction that we have come to expect from men in action roles. The only woman to play a significant part in the movie is Gwyneth Paltrow, who plays the part of Pepper Potts. Potts plays Tony Stark's assistant, but she is depicted in the movie as a glorified slave. Her sole job is to keep Tony Stark happy.
The Dark Knight shows Christian Bale playing a rich and successful Batman, who takes it upon himself to fight crime and save Gotham. He has an arsenal of weapons, including fast cars, a motorcycle, and of course the Batmobile, all of which are considered manly. His character is portrayed as dark and mysterious, but also confident as enemies are frightened of him. The Joker is the villain in the movie and shows him as a violent, psychopathic killer hungry for power. He will do anything to control the city and to achieve power. He is also willing to kill anyone who stands in his way. These two characters embody the typical gender roles found throughout action movies. The hero is often successful, good-looking and muscular, but also very mysterious and emotionally reserved, whereas the villain, who is often a male, terrorizes people and will do anything to achieve power.
Elektra is a strong, independent woman who is perfectly capable of taking care of herself. She can see into the future, giving her the advantage of defending herself from attacks. She can also fight, but is never seen with a gun. Her choice of weapon is a knife. Though unlike a man who might have a spouse or family, both of her parents were killed. Still, she remains much like a typical woman, beautiful and sexy. She dresses in a skimpy red leather suit that shows off her body. She is not as mentally stable as a man. She is haunted by the image of her mother being killed. Catwoman starts off as this weak, shy woman, then she transforms into this strong, powerful person. She can defend herself because she is super fast, has great reflexes, and all the senses of a cat. She too can fight, but her choice of weapon is a whip, not a gun. Like Elektra, she is not attached, and there is never any mention of her family. She too is seen like a typical woman, both beautiful and sexy. She dresses in a black leather catsuit that reveals much of her body. She is a borderline criminal and hero, whereas a man would make a clear choice.
The other example of an action movie breaking the gender norm is Kill Bill. Director Quentin Tarantino even described Kill Bill as a feminist statement, which is all about girl power. This movie breaks stereotypes of women in action movies, focusing only on beauty, physique, emotion, and sexuality. Uma Thurman's character, who is the main character, wears very non-revealing clothing throughout the movie. Her appearance and role in the movie is not sexual or provocative. Her role is not sugar-coated for the pleasure of male viewers in any way. Tarantino isn't afraid to make her ugly, where in most other action movies featuring women lead roles, the women tend to look perfect and flawless even in fight scenes. In this movie, the woman is very dominant. She has one mission and will kill anyone in her way. Scenes in the movie show her being a master in combat, clearly dominant in any fighting situation. This movie is very empowering for women because it breaks so many of the gender norms that have existed in action movies for such a long time. In the last 5 years, there seems to be a shift in the role that women play in action movies. While some action movies continue to depict women as sex symbols and damsels in distress, there are a few cases within the last few years that depict women as intelligent, confident, empowered, and strong women. Mr. and Mrs. Smith is an example of one of the few cases in action movies where the two lead characters, male and female, are not only equally matched, but she, the woman, is the dominant one. They depict Jane, which is Angelina Jolie's character, as a very intelligent, strong, dominant woman who can beat her husband in any fight, has a job killing people, and has a fancy dinner on the table by 7 o'clock every night. Even without guns, when they resort to hand-to-hand combat, Jane is superior. Even emotionally, Jane's character is colder than John. John seems to be the one holding out his hand in peace instead of the usual emotional female. There are still some traces of the stereotypical role of women, such as the domesticity of Jane's character. Her cover as an upper-class suburban wife is just as convincing as her cover of keeping her job a secret. She is often redecorating her house, has dinner on the table every night at the same time, which relates to the realistic role of women working double shifts between their homes and workplace, and how even after coming home from work, their workday is far from being over.
I remember because we said we'd wait.
If you don't like him, we can take him back.
Okay, I don't like him.
You'll get used to him.